Well, good afternoon. It's VindaCator here from iPlayMore.com. Quick reminder, go to YouTube and subscribe to us there. Follow me on Twitch. Make sure you go to iPlayMore.com, sign up for our video game tests of Thunder. I'm the game designer producer for Thunder Throne Wars. Happens right here. Milky Way Galaxy. And if you're a humanoid, you live near the sun here. And if you got incredible eyesight, you can look down the Carina arm and see the Stellar Jewel Box Nebula. No, you can't. Nobody's got eyesight like that. But NASA does. And so with their satellite imagery, they've taken this image. This just showed up all over the internet. And I kept thinking, there must be a reason for that. And I thought, you know what? We'll put our little world there. So we put Planet Nebulous Prime there. Now, there's a deep story here. And the story is that all of these missing mythical creatures from Earth, you know, the ones that are in our history, and we've got images and stuff, and like, where are all these creatures? Well, I found them. They're right here. Planet Nebulous Prime. Zoom in on this, and you can see our little mock-up. And so we've got Intrepid. I'm actually going to be in there a little bit today. We've got Excalibur laid out. We've got Bane laid out. And so I'm looking at the river here, and the next thing to do is going to be Forever. Then we'll do Eternal, and then we'll do Sun, and we'll have a whole island done. Wow. But the most important thing is we get two maps and begin to express our unique gameplay in each outdoor arena. So that's going to be next. Of course, I'll be showing Bear Isle today, because that's all playable. For me, not for you yet, so that'll be coming. So our game has a metagame in it, and what all that means is that winning and losing means something, and if you're winning, you're gaining territory, and if you're losing territory. And this is what it looks like when it's neutral, so 12 over 12 is neutral, and it's got no overcolor. And so we had a professional map maker, this is many years ago, drop Bear Isle, and you can see the Brood Fortress is all the way over here, the Kin's over here. And, you know, when we did this, we were like, man, that seems really big. Especially when you look at the scale here. There's actually a scale on it. So we attempted to pull it off, and there it is. That's in Unreal. But you can see there's no Brood Fortress here. It's moved all the way up here to make this the right size. So we're still learning. So our game's going to be kind of like an outdoor arena that takes place out here, and then the rest of this will all be for exploration, quests. So think of it like, this is kind of like, let's say, like Quake or Call of Duty or whatever, first-person shooter type game, except you got role-playing on the left arm, which is kind of unique. And that's not because we're trying to get two marketplaces. That's because we're allowing the players to be as free as possible and have the enemy players take your freedom away. And then the rest of this is a bunch of various quests that you can do and learn how to play. So that's what's happening there. So zooming in on the play area here. Now, so this is my mock-up of what our scoreboard's going to look like. What I was wanting to do was make the two top players on either team, give them a lot of space. That's the big glory, is being number one, the leader. And then the team score we don't have done yet. I'm working on that. But Shania and I are working on a couple things. I've assigned her these awards. So these are the latest version, not the final version yet. Some of them are, but that's kind of the latest version where we're at with those. So the things you'll get. These are my old versions. This didn't even show up in the first game. This is just stuff I kind of mocked up to kind of remember about it. But she's redone them all, and they're turning out really good. So there's a few more steps to take, but we're getting close. The other thing that she's working on, actually, that she's more inspired with, Shania is working on the crown system as well. So now I was thinking today we could make a shortcut, and that's that everybody down here, these guys could have one crown, these guys could have one crown. So instead of having 8 crowns times 4, because there's male and female in 2 teams, we could end up having 2 crowns. So just a little shortcut that we could take, maybe. Anyway, just an idea. And we would have the top 8 would have unique crowns. It would just make it a little easier for us. And then we could expand into that game 2 or later on or whatever. But just an idea. All right. So my mouse is rolling itself. I don't know why. And so here is our market exchange. So I wanted to have this. This is a layout that I did a long time ago, so that you could search for the kind of gear you needed for your specific character. I think at this time it wasn't real. Well, I think, yeah, it was character specific, wasn't it? Yeah, so it's always been character specific. Just kind of thinking out loud there. And our wealth storage system, the whole idea here is that you go and collect stuff. You can just drag it over to the marketplace. You can go look at the market exchange and see what other people are selling it for, and then set your price. And what we're going to be doing, our game's better than free to play. So you're going to be able to purchase these package deals, like a wholesale deal, and then sell all these items for these prices listed individually and earn money if you choose to spend money in the game. If you just choose not to, you can use all of the same gear. There is no pay to win in our game, so you can use the same gear as the guy that's buying it, and you're just leveling it up for him. That's the difference. But I've made it so that if you're buying this stuff, it's going to be a really great experience, and then you can liquidate it when you want. That's the kind of thing I've always wanted in games, so that's what I've put in here. This is HD Zac 2.0 high resolution, so he is on his way. We don't got him in yet, but he's coming. Now, so this is, Joe did this up today, so he's given me 3 different versions. I'd like people to vote, so tell me your vote. So if you're on the team, you can just send me a private message. Or if you're on social media, not on the team, you can just tell me which one you want. This is number 1. So this is our gorilla. We have 1 of them in the game. He's got no mate. Just 1 lone gorilla, and he's massive. He can pluck out trees like they're weeds. Kind of like I would pick weeds from my garden. He can pick up trees like that. So he's the brood like this guy. And he's a gentle giant. So here's number 1. Number 2, so it's more reddish in color. And number 3, which is more purple in color. I'd love to see what people want to choose for that. So that's going to be our little choose for today. And let me know what you think. And then we'll make a decision. And that'll end up in the game. All right. So now I said last week that I did these. This is... so these are reference images. And I collect a lot of reference images all the time. And this is for Tally. And she's like our main female character. And I just thought, man, she needs really special stuff. So I went and looked for my most special stuff. None of this stuff was colored right or whatever. Because lightning should be, golden. Fire should have red in it. And ice should have blue in it. And it's a little confusing because, Tally should have some sort of consistent color to her, which is usually green for healing or blue because she's on the kin. Either of those colors will work. So what I did is I made this yellow, I made these red, and I made these blue. And so I know these are highly complex rings, but I just thought Tally's worth it. So that's what we're doing. And that's just extra models that Zorn hasn't had time to build, so the team's working on those. So. All right, so I want to talk about this a little bit. I was talking this in the last art meeting, and that's what we have this mole people picture for a male. And I was thinking, man, it would be really hard for these guys to dig through the ground with all the spiky stuff on them. I like the idea, but then I saw this picture of this rat, and I thought, oh my goodness, it's kind of a humanoid type rat. And I thought if we could mix those two together, so this plus that equals, and then give ourselves a mole king, a mole queen, a princess, and their guards. So now what we're going to do with the Bane map is it's all underground. And when you get banished to the mole people's base. They actually have a castle there. And the whole thing about them is they're blind, but they're got really incredible hearing. That's another reason I like the big ear thing. So got to make sure we keep that idea. But yeah. So anyways, that's just an idea. We're not there yet. That's going to be level number 3. So I got a ways to go. But I just want us kind of thinking about this. So I want to put that in here. I have investor video number 7 done. Now there's a thing I read many years ago. I don't even know where this came from, but it said if you ask something from somebody, say, hey, will you do me this favor or whatever, people are very apt, especially investors, to say no the first time you ask, the second time you ask, the third, fourth, and fifth, and 6th time you ask. Who asks that many times? I don't know, but that's what they say. They say the 7th time that you ask, people feel indebted to you and will say yes. So I don't know. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. I haven't got that personal experience, but I always lean on that kind of stuff because that's what wisdom is. It's, leaning on other people's experience to do something. And of course, I've based everything that we're doing on Pitch Anything. But what's exciting is I have video number 7 done. And that means that I am now into the next phase of this, which means I'm going to be out pitching. So I'm just drafting up a series of emails now, 7 of them. And investors get one short video at a time. That's what I've been advised to do. And after number 7, I can go pitch them and start to close this deal. Now, I wanted to put a bunch of Intrepid in here. I did put a scene from Intrepid in here, but it was very short. We don't have a lot done there yet. So this has actually been a difficult week because they're putting all these new people into our SVN server, and it was great. And then we put code in, and now everybody's like, oh, how do you build code? And then we're like, well, you got to install Visual Studio. And then people install it doesn't work. It's like, oh yeah, you got to add all the C++ classes. How do you do that? We don't have any screenshots or any how-to. It's not in the document. So that's been our request to the team that's learning how to do that, is figure that out, take some screenshots, and then update that document for the rest of the team. So I've never had so many new people in the SVN server. It's actually kind of exciting because once we figure this out, it's going to be kind of like a slingshot that's been held back. Once it's released, boy, we're going to fly. All right, so I'm watching GDC. And this guy's talking about these two massive game markets, competitive multiplayer and open world. I play both of those. I enjoy both of those. I'm actually more of a competitive multiplayer guy. But guess what? We're doing both of those. We're doing competitive multiplayer in our outdoor arenas. And then outside of that, where you can wander outside and explore and do quests, we're doing open world. And I thought, man, we're doing both of those. And then we're also doing both of these, which is free-to-play MMO, which is basically what our game is. Better than free-to-play, though, but I mean, it fits into that marketplace. And we're also releasing a mobile app for people to redeem Game Gear codes. Trying to say that quickly. And so we're also doing both of those markets. So it's like, okay, it's kind of exciting. And the other thing I did was crunch some numbers. Let's just go back to that. Crunching some numbers on us adding 3 live streamers per day. What I didn't realize until I got to about month 4 or 5, that's exponential. It just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing and spreading. And I'm only counting on, streams with like 400 people in it. And our influencing marketing manager comes back to me. He's like, yeah, I talked to somebody with 4 million people watching their stream. I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, they want to play your game. I'm like, okay. So I crunched those numbers. They are so fantastically overly big that no investor in the world's going to believe us. So I'm saying, okay, we're going to tell them 10% of that with a 50% drop-off rate of people, not playing the game anymore. So those are the numbers in the business plan. That's what we're showing. And when investors go, well, those numbers are pretty high, I'm going to say that's 10% of our plan. So it's not high. It's very low. So I'm actually, I kind of feel like a person on a motorcycle that's like way too powerful because you're scared to death, but you're going to drive it anyways. Okay. So this is actually really, really incredible because you're going to see this. This is Intrepid, and we've got it fitting into this one little square. And trying to figure out where Excalibur is here. So Excalibur is going to be kind of across these two, I guess. These 3 maybe? Yeah. So the level designer is back from his wedding. Not his wedding, somebody else's wedding. And he's recovering from the jet lag. He's like, what do you want me to do next? And I'm like, okay, well, what can you do next? Like, I mean, he can do paths and rivers, but we got other people that can do paths and rivers and terrain painting and stuff like that. That's the other thing. So we've got these master texture systems coming in to place. So all that stuff isn't working yet, but we're close. So anyways, I was thinking maybe, so I should just say Christopher is going in and laying all this out so that there's going to be level streaming. And I got to admit today, I tried to take Bear Isle and make a new version of it and strip everything out of it so it'll perform properly because it's just so laggy right now. And I couldn't figure out how to do level streaming. So obviously because I just saved as and it's just dumb. It doesn't know what to do. So I just got no progress on that front. I was trying to get the damn thing to start performing better because I'm just so lame that it's so slow. And then you go to, and it takes, minutes to load on my computer. For other people, it's a little longer. And I load Intrepid in like seconds, so it's amazingly different. Anyways, so I'm thinking maybe Devin could start working on some of this stuff. And we got a couple other level designers kind of just at the door, so I hope that they join. And I guess the most exciting news is I've gone back to Phil. He's the very first level designer that helped us do Bear Isle, and he's going to come back and help us do some rivers. So he's really good at with the river tool and making rivers. So these are our goals for setting this up, but I'm just thinking, man, it's exciting. Let's get this game world flushed out. So here's what the Intrepid base map looks like, and I'm sorry to be focused on Intrepid, but that's where we're at. So I know I got things to show for Bane and for Excalibur, but you know what? We're going to leave that until we're there. So sorry, guys. I know you're doing a lot of work on that stuff. I will get to it. So right now we're just showing this, and we're staying focused here. So this is the vertical slice. I showed this last week, but what I didn't show last week was this one. It's kind of funny. I do all this work, and then I forget to put it into my stream. So basically what's happening here, now I've had a meeting with a professional writer, and so he isn't signed up yet. I'm trying to bring him in. It's very exciting. I haven't really been talking about it very much. Looks like he's going to join us maybe for a month and kind of get things. But anyways, I went through this whole plan with him, these 8 steps that we're going to do for the vertical slice. And he's just, man, he's just so beyond what we're doing. So, you know, especially when we're talking about pitching this. Now, here's the other thing, too, is I found out that Netflix, or no, maybe it was Amazon. I think it was Amazon, pays 10 cents per stream, and I thought, oh my goodness, we're asking for like 60 grand per episode. Like, how's that going to work? But I sat down and crunched some numbers. I looked at how big, just taking Netflix for example, how big their marketplace is. We only have to have 600,000 people watch our episode, and then it, you know, covers the expense of 10 cents a stream. So it's like the numbers actually work, and the numbers are more like 3 million to 6 million people watching every show. So there's some big money in doing this. So our plan is still in place, even though, you know, it's like, oh, 10 cents a stream, that's not very much, but you know what? We're still going to do that. So we're still going to write a 12 episode arc and make a pilot script, and then go pitch that to all the big producers, you know, like Netflix, Amazon, HBO, and there's a whole Hulu, there's a whole bunch of them, even Apple, even Facebook, and even YouTube are all getting into this, which would be Google. So that's kind of very cool. So, and having a professional television producer that's already been very successful, already a multimillionaire, go out and pitch this, man, you know, he's going to say all the right things, hopefully. So that's the plan. He'll do better than I will. All right, so here's some concept art that Adrian did up. So this is our fountain building. So Borjan is going to put in the newest one, and so we got new texture systems coming, so everything's kind of untextured at this time. And so here's more concept art that she did. I just really love that one. More concept art showing that, you know, the trees from the kin, and the brood have cut everything down, blocked the water. You can see the dam that they've blocked there. So here's the kin castle. Now here's the thing. In my mind, how this is working is that the brood are over top of this mountain, and the kin are, this is like the back side of the kin. So you come around here and you come up in front. And you know what? That just is not working. We don't want people approaching the castle from behind. So, and I know people are looking at this like this is the front, which is, it is the front, but you know, like this is inside the level, these are the mountains behind. You'll see what that means in a second. And I want to put this fountain, I'm calling it a dam, waterfall, not fountain, throne pit. That should go in front of the castle. So Norrin did this up, and I just keep holding on to this idea because I think it's so good. So here's the level. So you can see the kin castle is supposed to be on the opposite side of those mountains. And it actually ends up in front here. I'll see if I can find a better image here. That's up in the mountains. Yeah, so here's where the kin castle kind of goes. But you know, I'm gonna show us this today. These are pictures I took, or screenshots I took last. So there's the land bridge. Still needs textures, of course. So it's gonna blend right in with everything, is the plan. And so that's the other thing that we need to do is, these are not textures. These are just kind of like placeholders showing that where the color should go. And I like what Devin did with this, how he laid out the colors and stuff. Oh, and so this, so going back here, so this is where the vertical slice is going to start. That's looking over that way towards the marmosets, up to the sun to see the phoenixes flying around. See the marmosets scatter. Come in here, there's going to be the croc come and bite at Zach. He's going to come down here. There's going to be the Komodo dragon running up here. A lot of the stuff is in animation, so the models have been built, they've been rigged, now being animated, so don't have a lot of that stuff to show. And I gotta say, falling down into this is just absolutely amazing. Boy, oh boy, just that sense of dropping into this fountain is just absolutely amazing. So Suyel's gonna drop in here, and then the battle's gonna take place in this area, maybe out to about here. So that's what we got planned. There's this massive, gorgeous beach here that we don't use for anything. I just like to show it. This is where the brood's gonna go. And this is what the Brood Fortress concept art looks like for it. Okay, so Jeff did this up. So the volcanoes with the lava flowing down, lava in front. Now the thing is we get that incredible Kin throne pit, which is that kind of dam waterfall thing. And so I thought, well, we got to do that something for like that for the brood. So this is what I came up with. So the other thing is that we have to do is this landscape on this side's got to be colored brood. It's all colored kin. So that's something else that has to be done once we get into the textures. So I've done these are actually, I've put the holes in, so that actually exists, but the color is not right. I've just put some color over top of this to make this look a little bit more brood-like. And then the lava's got to flow down. Now I was thinking having this lava pit in the front. So this castle is going to have a gate here. So it's because that's what's thrilling about it, is to walk over this pit and have a chance of being pushed off or fall off or whatever. And then the throne would be up here. This is their level up tree. So just kind of some mock-ups on what to do. And then for the kin, so Wade suggested that I show him where this is going to go. So I'm going to be doing that today. And basically what happens is you start at the center of the fountain, and you count up your time to the brood, and you count to the kin, and kin was closer. So, I mean, that just happens because we're not right 100% with the design, because the design, that's something I told Jeff about. Hey, you're not exactly centered with the brood and kin fortress. And so now this is my new proposed location. So it's just a nice, and this is kind of going out to the next map is what's happening there. And I just thought it was a perfect place to put it. So people are kind of, the mountains are going to give you some idea. The ocean's going to give you some idea of your playable area. And then, of course, so this would be the castle, the home tree, the big home tree behind. And then this would be your throne pit, fountain, dam. I don't keep saying fountain. Dam, waterfall. So what I'm thinking about is that the water, little streams, could come down from the snow, flow out to here, go into this system. It's kind of like a bunch of waterfalls all the way around. And then this could be another entrance to the pit. And then the water could come out this way, and the water goes towards, I'm just going to roll all the way back to the map because it's just easier to talk. Sorry about all that. Because I'm going to have to go, so that's the dam. Oh boy, I got to go a long ways. I should have a map there. Okay, note to self, put a map there for next time. Okay, where's my map? There we go. So you can see here, the water goes from Intrepid, past the Forever Castle, and then out to the ocean. And I'm thinking that the laggers will be in here somewhere, with their castle and all their stuff, huts and all that kind of stuff, their marketplace and all that stuff. And so I think that's what we'll have to do next. So that's the plan. So we got Intrepid done, we got Excalibur laid out, we got Bane laid out. We'll go and lay out Forever, and then we'll continue. So that's where the river goes. So now we'll go all the way back. I'll just roll as fast as I can. It's like a review. All right, so so the water will come down here, flow through that, and then out to the Forever map. And I guess you can see there's beach here and there's ocean here. So it would really just flow right to the ocean. So we're going to have to figure out how to make it flow into the level. So we're going to have to do some. So anyways, that's for the level designers to figure out. We really shouldn't have rivers flow uphill. I mean, we could do anything we want, but so a couple zoom ins of how it's going to be laid out here. And I've measured this numerous times. That seems to be the exact location it needs to be. So we do have some products up. So if you go to teespring.com/stores/iPlayMore, you can see our t-shirts. You can see we've got this poster up available. And if you enter the code iPlayMore, you'll save $3 in your own currency, whatever currency that is, US, Canadian, whatever. And away you go. So please support the project that way. And now, how's the nicest way for me to say this? So I applied to Discord to get a custom URL. And I guess what I didn't realize is that our Discord isn't really booming. We don't spend a lot of time there. So they denied us. Very sad. And I thought, oh, because they sent me the rules. I'm like, man, we own a game production company. They should just jump all over this. And I looked at their thing. The first thing is got to be a vibrant community. I went, oh. So anyways, you can earn mana by being active on our Discord. And you're still going to have to type this silly address until such time that we're busy enough that they're going to accept our application. So there we go. Go to iPlayMore.com, sign up for a video game test. I'm going to turn my camera on. So I've moved everything. So now the camera waves hello. And Enrique's still gone for another week. And we've got 5 Saturdays. This is the 5th broadcast of this month. So it's happened twice already this year. All right. So let's go figure out where the game is. There we go. So we're going to go back to Bear Isle. It is extremely laggy. I'm going to say this again and again and again. It's because we've got real images, textures on everything. Think of it this way. Every item in here, not that. Let's pretend I didn't do that. Let me just click on something that's actual. Okay, so this wall piece right here, it's got 5 textures on it. So it's got, it's got the diffuse map, which is the color. It's got the normal map, which is, the bumps and that kind of. It also has a bump map. It's got a, oh, forgive me. It's got, oh, I can't think of the names right now. But it's it's at the tip of my tongue. There's 2 other maps that come with it. So anyways, there's 5 maps on this, and we've got a new texture system coming in. It's going to put 1 normal map on that, and then everything else is done with code. It's very performant, and we're going to be doing that for everything in the game, and none of that is done for this. None of it is done for this. So Alt-P to join, and I'm going to do kind of a shorter version. I think what I'm going to do today, since my camera's moved, I'm going to show you, I'm going to have one side make a stronghold, and then have the other side break it just to show what that's like, and, just show some real basic stuff today. I have been showing the victory conditions. There's 2 victory conditions. One victory condition is to destroy the enemy's icon. The other victory condition is to banish the enemy team. So I'm not going to be showing that today. I've been showing that every single week. So if you really want to see that, go watch one of my older videos. So we're going to have Brood come in here. So I guess I could have done some advanced stuff, but we'll just... So you spawn, you fall into the map, pick up some power-ups, and, we got to redo all this kind of stuff in every single map. So this is kind of the template of how that works. Jump up on the throne. Oops. I just scratched my nose and I schmucked my mic. So you got a bit of a time of capture here. Now this is... Bit of a secret there. If you wait until the announcement's done, you have 2 throne energies. So there is some secrets that I give out in my stream here. So if you do watch that, you're going to learn some of the secrets. Okay. And if I push H so you can see my HUD, you can see in the very center, bottom of my HUD is a lava fountain with green over it. And that means that this this fountain, which is not lava, that's water, is ready for me I'm just going to step back here and take a run at it. It's kind of an advanced thing. You can jump in there. But you can also just run over top. Okay, so a stronghold has been declared by the Brood. So now I'm back over at the kin side, and you can see there's a find on my HUD. So what that means is I can go unlock that. Now, if he's just one guy running through here, I'm not going to be able to unlock that in time. I haven't got my throne yet, but we're just going to do a minor unlock just so we see how that works. Okay, so I'm going to go just check out some of the... I'm just using my space bar to jump, AWSD to move, and then I'm using shift to run fast. And you can see all these shrines are not locked. So we're going to just keep running through them until we find this image that we've got on our screen. It's kind of interesting that a first-person game with just one guy playing two sides can actually have something playable in it. That's the funny thing about this game, is that I've designed it based on kind of the thing that I want to play. But what's happened here is we've ended up with something that's very playable. Okay, so there's 6 guys there. A line over their head. I'm just trying to remind myself. There should be 3 there. That was a bear. Still have to get the bear in. And there it is. So all I have to do is touch it. And we know where that one is. So I can push enter. We can fly now. And yeah, the game is very laggy. So we can go to this one, unlock it. Alright, so we got something to find that we haven't found yet. It's a bit of a race because if they capture a throne, it's all going to relock. I didn't want to make this... This is kind of the underdog thing to do. And if your whole team did it, I'm just going to hit enter here again and turn off freedom. So there's nothing there. Just using a recoil device. Just show you what that looks like. So it's a rapid impact. Okay, so... Oh, we've got a bug here. So when Brood captures that throne, this is supposed to be red. And it's supposed to lock me out. So it does lock me out, but it's not red. So I can see that's not locked. So you know what that means? That means that I've got to go into the pit to find this one. Now you can understand that by the time... Although, I guess to be fair, my team would be defending the throne. So there's a chance that they might not be able to get that. So here's our lava flow here. Kind of the hard, dry lava. And we can go... This is the throne pit here. So you can see the Brood... throne is up there, so it's kind of a thrilling thing to walk across. That's kind of a new thing. We didn't do that in our first game. You would just walk up to the throne. I just thought, man, it's way more thrilling if there's a chance you can fall off. And our dragon. It's actually not our dragon. It's a placeholder dragon. It's the Unreal Dragon from the marketplace. And so we do have that re-rigged. And Ryan is going to be doing some animation on that. So the animation for this game is that he's going to lay down, you're going to shoot him, he's going to go around in circles, maybe fly a little bit, and then lay back down. Or actually I should say she with an egg. Would be a female dragon. It's very interesting because I design all this stuff and it's all coming true. So this is very laggy because it's drawing everything up top. These are all things that we need to accomplish. So when you're down in the pit, it shouldn't draw anything up top. So I'm not sure how to do that. That's programming. So, okay, so the rule of thumb here is this is your side, the kin, and this is the Brood side. Always go to the enemy side. Let's just fill up our device here again. So, oh yeah, you can't see it. There's something in the pit that makes it blurry. It's kind of a foggy effect thing. I don't know why it's affecting that. We got to fix that. There's one of those things that are on the list, but we don't ever get it done. because it's not priority. And there it is. Yes, that's it. So their stronghold has been broken, and I can pick up this power up. I can push my over arrow and select it, and I can push return, which spawns me back to my starting point. Now let's test this, because this is important. I'm going to drive my programmer nuts because we're actually not working here. We're focused on the next map, Intrepid now. So Bear Isle is going to go the way of the dodo bird for a little while. So I'm just going to capture my own throne here. I'm going to push H. It's going to show me no throne, no fountain, which is correct. It's showing that I'm capturing on the right, bottom right. You see the kin is flashing. That's correct. That's letting everybody know it's being captured. So you stay until the message is done. You capture 2 throne strikes. That's going to go slow and pick up some pep. It's just easier if you're going slow. Man, it seems like I'm going so slow. I like things fast. And these are rolling down the path, as you can see. And up over top of that. And disappearing into the map. So I'm not going to worry about that stuff because we're going to redo it all. So I'm just going to push. Yeah, you see how fast I've got 12 pep. Whoa! Over that. So that's the thing about pep, is it gives you air. So I went over that hill, and so I should be able to capture that. Yes. That is all working fantastically. So I'm going to push H. You can see my shields are getting full. So that's the cool thing about our game is you do have to manage your shields and your energy, which is kind of cool. I'm going to come here. Fill up my shields, fill up my energy, get some throne strikes, throne energy. Sorry. We use those words interchangeably in the first prototype, so I have a hard time changing my language. I'm gonna come here, take the enemy's throne. Now we're gonna go to Brood here real quick. And you can see that he has an enemy find on his screen. And you can see as soon as I capture, that find is gonna change. The letter's gonna change. So you can see it's flashing. So I'm aware that the Brood throne is being captured, so I could race over there. We're not gonna bother. And as soon as it's captured, the letter's gonna change. So that find is gonna change. Here we go, and yes.
King of Dominations.
All right. So let's just do that one more time. I always try to show this in a different light, because my team's watching these videos over and over again. They must get bored seeing the same thing. So, and I'm sure if you watch all of them, you'll hear me say different things all the time. But there's a lot of the same. So Zach's just going as fast as he can back over the other side. Oh yeah, this is instant, so I can't show this the way I was thinking about it. Oh, yes I can. Oh, it's gonna take forever to do it this way. Okay, we're gonna try something. This is gonna be my crazy experiment. Okay, let's just see if I can drop on that throne and change. It's probably not gonna work, but we'll try. Okay, so enter. Oh. Okay, anyways, you can see the letter that he's got there. I don't think it worked. 2 more seconds. So all the vegetation I did here myself. I probably overdid it with colors and stuff. Maggie's doing all that stuff. So she had a busy week, but we already had her in the map starting to test that stuff. Yeah, he's in the water. Oh, that was close though, man. Let's just try that one more time. Okay, so why did he fall to the wrong place? Okay, so I'm just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. See, that looks right to me, but I'm gonna go a little further this way. All right, here we go. See what happens. I'm doing things I've never done before. This is hard with one guy. It's supposed to be 2 guys doing that. I don't think it worked. Okay, well, sorry. Freedom. Zach is stuck in the water there. All right, let's just make it so it's so freaking obvious it's going to happen. Okay, here we go. Yay! So what's so special about Empire? Well, if we push H, you can see that Kin has a crown now on their side. They've got a stronghold that locks my enemy out from leveling up their energy. And if I go back to my home, so I'm Brood right now. Let's push G so you can see my character. There's Balaam. All right. Oh, that bug is still here. So this throne is supposed to be out with an Empire. So you can see we got a Sked, which means stands for Stronghold, Kingdom, Empire, Dynasty. So let's just go back to the other side. So that's just a bug that's crept in. You can see I got my crown there. So, and just so everybody's aware, that is a king's crown, which will appear when you have a kingdom. But we're creating emperor, empress crowns. We're creating queen crowns. We're creating prince crowns. And so when you do things like this, T, D, left mouse, and I place a throne like that, that's going to have a very specific, that won't have a king's crown because that's not a king's throne. That's an emperor's throne. Now, when you have an emperor, the prince moves to king, so there will be a king's. So when you see these thrones, you're going to look at the crown on top and say, "Oh, that's a king. That's an emperor. That's a prince. That's the royal knight." They're all going to have specific crowns on the thrones that they place. So you're going to decide on where you're going to attack. Are you going to attack the weakest point, the strongest point, whatever? Or you could just go around and unlock the whole thing. But if I place thrones all the way across the map, my crown will move to every new throne I place. And then I can destroy the enemy's energy icon, which is that thing right back there. Whoops. That recoil pulled me. And get out of the tree there. So that's an energy icon for this team. But you want to go from that all the way across the map. So that's all I'm going to show here today. I'm going to push escape. I'm going to go to this thing. You're going to see all behind the scenes now. I'm going to take it out of an immersive view. I'm going to close this. I'm not going to save. I'm just going to go and open up the folders here. I don't know why that happened. Thunder multiplayer. So this is going to be our first multiplayer map. Now look how fast this loads. Although there's no reference. But when I crash, you see what happens. But this loads extremely fast because there's not much in it right now. Wade had me put the rocks and the home trees in here. And Zorn's like, why is that so big with just those couple things in it? Well, yeah, I guess we need to clean some things out, but that's the way it goes. So let's just hide the toolbar. Let's go game view and immersive view. And I'm just going to float around here. I can spawn here. We did figure that out. But the problem is that I'm looking at the ground and we don't have proper textures on this yet. So this is just to give you an idea. So I want to show a few things here. If I click on the ocean, look what Devin has done. So that's why that looks like that. That's actually a model. So that's how this is how we don't have the ocean underneath the map. And then when you look at how he's modeled, that's the water. Isn't that interesting? So that one is a square. And this one is round. Sort of. I guess it's there's a different word for that because it's not totally round. But anyways, okay, so first of all, I want to show you what I've done here. So since these are going to be volcanic, I've gone and emptied all these out, push it down. So the other thing is the new texture system, all this stretching is gone in our new texture system, which is amazing. Because that's always bugged me about Unreal, that when you do things kind of 90 degrees, so it's going to be lava flowing from these down in here. The fortress will be here. The big tree will be back here. Well, the other thing we need to figure out, everybody, is how do we get this water to be two-sided? I can select the two-sided, but it doesn't work. So maybe that's a note for Devin. I'll send that to Devin. So anyways, let's show you how I do this. You can see at Wade's request, I made this water much more green-yellow. So it's not so bluish. So what you do is you come to the center here, and then you just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So about 14 is where the fortress is going to be. So if I go back to that central place, and this is what I want everybody that's doing placement, this is so important that this is balanced. So we start at the center here again. I just want to show this because this is so cool. When you jump down into here, look at that. It's just amazing the experience that you have when you jump down into that. So, what am I seeing right there? Oh, there's a little bit of an error right there with the model. Okay, so that is a note for Borsian. I'm not exactly sure what's happening there, but he can look into that. Okay, I'll send him that. Okay, so anyways, you go to this and count to 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I didn't do that right because I should end up right. I'm lost now. Oh yeah, right here. This second bump. That's where I end up with. This is too close. When you count it out. So anyways, I shouldn't have stopped in the middle of all that. But when I did this and did this and did this over and over again, I ended up very consistently. So let me just find it. The first bump at this second bump. So this is where the castle should go right here. Now what I like about this is, look, I cannot see the Brood Fortress. Let's just turn off game view here. I cannot see the Brood Fortress. I cannot see the fountain. Okay. So you got to travel down here. So all the activity happening over here is invisible to it. All the activity happening over here is invisible to both fortress and castle, which is not the case if the castle's here. And then the same thing. Let's go sit at the Brood Fortress here. Right? I cannot see the fountain. I cannot see the Kin Castle. Now, if the Kin Castle was up there, yeah, they could see each other. And that's a no-no. So that's going to help us fix this. So anyways, that's where we're at. And there's a lot of smoothing and things that have to go into this. But I think we'll do textures first and see where we're at. Now, the other thing that Devin did that I really like is instead of doing this by height, which means the snow's got this hard line across it and is only on the top, look how he's got the snow layered in like this. Now, these are just placeholders to show us kind of how to do it. So I really like that. And I like the fact that the water could be coming down there. The only problem is water doesn't flow uphill, so we might have to have the river digging down into here. Now I'm going to come right to the edge of this. Remember, these are made up of little squares. Or I shouldn't say little. They're about 1 kilometer big. And so the water's got to flow this way, so we might have to go down. So that might be the peak where the castle is, and then back downhill, and then that's going to go over towards Forever. So that's how that works. But I'm very happy with this you know. And I like the fact that, you know, if you were at the Kin Castle here, you could take the beach route. Of course, the enemy could come from the beach route as well, which is kind of cool. And there's not a lot of beach here. It's very interesting how there's these different routes. Let's go try the other side now. All right, so you're coming down to the Brood Fortress that way. You could also go this way, a beach route. And then you'd probably want to come this way. I'm starting to imagine all the gameplay. So we're going to fix all this up. This can't be here anymore. This is all going to be much more natural. But you could come from that side or straight up the middle. So very cool. So I'm very happy with this. This is very picturesque. That's what I'm trying to say. So the other problem is when Wade put a placeholder in here, he put a Kin Castle placeholder, it was starting to block the mountains, and I don't like that at all. But if we put it here, the points are going to stick up here, right? And it doesn't block any of the image. And it's nice because you look over, it's very organic. You come over here, and you're going to see that massive castle, wings or whatever. And then the Brood Fortress over here. I think it's good. So remember, all of this needs to be textured as Brood. You know, it's not going to have the green and all that kind of stuff. Remember, I showed that these were kind of dark. But maybe that should all happen with all of these as well. And then I'm not exactly sure what to do with our land bridge. Because if we made this Brood... Actually, let's just do it this way. So if this side is Kin, that means the Brood is going to start here. This will be Brood, this will be Brood. So anyways, just some ideas there. Anyways, very happy. Man, oh man, can you imagine? We're going to have six maps like this on just this one island. So it's going to be great. Very important thing. We had a programmers meeting last Monday. And one of the things that I mentioned is that this gameplay code can only happen in this one map. It can't affect every other map. So it's something that we got to contain. So that was the big point. So there we go. I think that's going to do it for today. So make sure you go to iPlayMore.com, sign up for a video game test. So that map I'm showing, that Intrepid map, that's going to be our first multiplayer map. So we've got the server set up on AWS, Amazon Web Services. We're just waiting for GameLift to update to 422.3. And then we've got everything we need. Now, I guess the other thing, everything we need, but I guess the other thing that we need to do is, let's just go back to the map for a second here. So the other thing we need to do is put all of our things that are in Bear Isle into here. So that's not only the castle and the fortress, which have to be built, that's the pit down below, and then that's all the dressing, all of the plants and all that kind of stuff. None of that's in here yet. So, and it still looks fantastic. You think about that, there is nothing in here except the map and the water. So that's great. But what was my point there? Oh yeah, this is our first multiplayer map. We got to get all that stuff in. So we're going to do the vertical slice first, which is just this area right here. Back out a little bit more. So about from here, we're going to have to do this. So we're going to have to do this because that all shows up in the image. But we're going to be, so it's just going to be, this is going to be all polished and finished, including the fountain. It's going to look polished and finished all the way through. And then after we finish that, we'll put the Kin Castle in, the Brood Fortress in, and then all the playable elements. So maybe 3 weeks of work, depending on how well this goes. And then this will be, we'll all be able to come in here. We'll all be able to play, test this thing multiplayer, because this is a multiplayer game in these arenas. So this is an outdoor arena you're looking at. That's how we do it. And once we got that up and running, maybe map number 2, get that up and working, and then we'll start inviting people in, and you'll be able to experience this for yourself. And you may want to go watch some of my other videos so you know how to play. And then we're going to do NPC missions. So I guess let's just use this map for example. I haven't thought about that. So okay, well there's going to be marmosets. So around that lake is going to be marmosets. I think there's a marmoset village somewhere over here. We might have to move it. Maybe we'll put the marmosets down over here. anyways, so what else is in this map? Marmosets? I don't remember. So there could be a marmoset up here, maybe right here. And you come up here into the mountains. You're outside of the playable area, and he's going to give you a quest. You help him out, and he's going to teach you things about the game. So that's how we're going to do it. That's kind of where that's evolving to. So that's going to be much more like Skyrim. On the outside, the inside is going to be this intense, fast gameplay, 16 on 16. Very exciting, very thrilling, especially if you're going to be playing and ranking. It's role-playing by rank, which is a whole new thing that we've designed that is with those crowns. And so, yeah, it's going to be fantastic, especially if you can be the top player in a couple maps. Then you're going to be like the king overall or the queen overall or the emperor overall. And that's going to be extremely exciting that you are the owner of that territory. So there we go. So that's why you want to go to iPlayMore.com, sign up for our video game test, because that's the multiplayer. And we'll see you there. So it's VindaCator saying thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, follow, share, and ring that bell. And we'll see you next week at the same time. It's VindaCator 9. I'm out.